What is going on today, guys? Sorry for the lack of videos recently. I just haven't really felt like making a video, to be quite honest with you, but I got one today. I got a pretty good one, I think. I kind of wanted to talk about the things that I actually hate about this car. Now, all of them I don't hate per se, I just like, but there are a couple that I absolutely do hate, and I really wish they were different. So, let's get into it here, and let's discuss some of the things that I dislike about this car. Number one is going to be the door, mainly the driver door. I guess it could happen to every single one of them, especially the passenger as well. But I really hate this door, and you're wondering why. Why does he hate the driver door, or hate the door? And the reason is this right here. The door stopper that holds the door open is absolutely terrible. Terrible. I can't tell you how many times I have my hands full, I'm trying to grab stuff in the seat or whatever, and even if you're on a slight incline, the door just doop, closes right back on you. It happens all the time, and I'm sure when this car was brand new, these worked pretty well. I'm sure, at the time these worked pretty well, but, now that the car is, however old it is, 14 years old, whatever it is now, they don't work like they used to. Of course, it's not doing it now, so it doesn't want to demonstrate. Like, even if the doors, you slightly push it like that, see how it just goes right back? Just goes right back. It is beyond annoying. I absolutely hate that about this car. It drives me nuts. I really wish they designed that differently. And I'm almost certain that pertains to every single model, Crown Vic, Grand Marquis, any Panther. I'm pretty sure that even the town cars are the same way. I never had a town car. I never had a Grand Marquis either, but I do know the Grand Marquis look pretty much exactly the same. So the Lincoln Town cars might be a little bit different with the door hinges. I've never actually looked, but definitely 100% for the Crown Vics. Every single one of them is going to have that problem. It's really annoying. I can't stand it. And yeah, it's a really dumb design. I don't know any other car that has a problem with the door staying open like this car does. I mean, I've been in cars from the 70s and 80s. The doors stay open just fine. So I don't know. It's a dumb design by Ford. I don't like it. And while we're over here, we'll talk about another design that I hate in the same exact area, and that is the A-pillar. I hate this A-pillar right here. Well, Once again, you're probably wondering, why do you hate the A-pillar? It looks fine. Yeah, it looks fine. I do like it's not crazy thick. Yes, it's thicker than like, you know, the older cars, but newer cars, you know, they have to have like airbags in here now and everything else. The actual A-pillar itself is fine. It is the door to A-pillar to window ratio. It's hard to explain. When it is raining outside, when it is raining and you put on your windshield wipers, even if it's slight water on your windshield and you put your windshield wipers on, and let's say your window, I'll even show you, see if I can get my window cranked up a little bit. Even if your window is like right there, just a little crack like that when it's raining out, you're not really gonna get any rain in the car. But my God, when you put the windshield wipers on, it all comes in right here. It drips all over the buttons here, goes everywhere. Once again, this is the only car that I've been in, if I can get this key out, this is the only car that I've been in that it does that. Like I said, even like the littlest bit of rain, you cannot drive this car with the windows open when it's even drizzling out. It just, you get water all over the buttons. It goes on the floor. It literally goes everywhere. It goes all over these. It'll go down on the floor here. So unless you have the rain guards that go around the edge, that may stop it. I've never had rain guards on here, so I don't know. I just know that on both sides too, on that side as well, even with the windows slightly cracked and it rains out, you know, you get water all over the place on the inside. And every single Crown Vic's gonna have that. Once again, I know the Grand Marquis have it. I'm pretty sure the town cars that have it as well. Town cars do look a little bit different, so they may not have that issue. But on the Crown Vics, if you own one, you know what I'm talking about. There's no way I'm the only one that deals with this. I'm telling you, it drives me nuts. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know. I can't believe it's the design of it. It just, the way that they designed it, I guess there's really no way for the water to disperse properly. I don't know. It just, even doesn't matter if you're going slow, fast. I mean, I guess it typically does it more when you're driving. When you're stopped, the rain does not really go up in here. It's mainly when you're driving. But when you're driving, it literally goes all over these buttons. It just goes everywhere. It's beyond annoying. I guess everything seems to pertain really to over here. But another problem that I have with these cars, and this one is not that big a deal. It's not really a thing that I hate. It's kind of a thing that I kind of dislike. The first two, the door and the A-pillar design or whatever, that I hate. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. For this, I don't hate. It's just kind of annoying. Not a big deal. But I kind of hate the cheapness in this car. Now, before you start roasting me in the comments, I know why this car is the way it is. It's basic. It was supposed to be cheap, and I get that, and I'm all for that. But some things are just a little too cheap, in my opinion. Like this. Every single Crown Vic that I've ever been in, or Grand Marquis, there's always a screw here, or it's popped up like mine, or they got some ghetto thing rigged up to hold it down. Every single one of these clips break on these panels here. Every single one of them. I have never seen one at a junkyard. I've been looking at the junkyard for like 3 years now, trying to find this. They're all broken, or they have a screw in it. They're broken. A brand new one online is like $100-something, and I'm not paying $100 for that. So I've always just dealt with it. Mine isn't that bad. It pops up a little bit. I tried to just, there's a clip here. I tried to just pull it out a little bit so it keeps it down further, but these are all broken in every single Crown Vic. It's because it's just cheap plastic. These right here, these break, because what people do, I don't ever use the cup holders in here, but people, they pull this out and it gets stuck. It gets stuck up there. They go like that, they go to pull it, and see, I'm pulling on it, it's not coming out. You really got to pull it like down and straight. So a lot of times this cover piece is broken as well. It just, they use cheap plastic, cheap clips, and they break over time. It's not the end of the world. It's just something that, you know, I don't know. Personally, I think some things are a little too cheap in this car, but I get why it's cheap. Not a big deal, and I'm okay with it. That's why I got a Crown Vic, because I like how they're just basic and they get the job done. So I'm not really going to complain too much about that. Let me pop the hood. Actually, let me not pop the hood. Another thing that I hate about this car is the hood. Not the, once again, it's not the design of the hood. I like the way the hood looks. I like the little, you know, not divots or whatever you want to call that. The raking there. I don't know. The little concave part there, I do like. Hood has a nice look. I love the front ends. They look really aggressive, especially with the push bumper. I hate the way the hood latches. You're probably not going to be able to see it in video, but these hoods, they move around. It just, if you look on this side, my hood is down, and then over here, it's kind of pushed up a little bit. You're probably not going to pick it up on camera. But the hood latch on these things is just stupid. I can never seem to get the hood to line up right. It's really stupid. They bounce around when you drive on the street. The hood bounces all over the place because it doesn't latch right. So the hood, as you're driving, as you can see, there's these rubber things here you spin. Now, I've messed with these. I can't even tell you how many times I've tried to adjust them, and it always seems like it's just never an adjustment, and my hood still does it. So I've kind of just given up. I'll do a little bit more now since I'm already here and I can see it's off, so maybe I'll hope it a little bit. But no matter what I've done, the hood, when you're driving, you can literally see the hood like it bounces around, and it's just annoying. It looks stupid. Like, I literally see it as I'm driving, and I don't know, it really irritates me, and I hate it. Now the latch itself is pretty good, besides the fact that it doesn't, oh, you know, let me actually close this. It doesn't really hold the hood that well. Like, if you can hear it, there's just play. You can hear it, you can't really see it, but there's just the latch. I don't know, the latches in these are just, they're not the best hood latches. They get the job done, they hold the hood down, but that's really about it. I don't like the way the hood sits. I don't like the way it adjusts onto here. I'm just not a fan of the way they design the hood latch. I just think it's really stupid. They could have made a double hood latch. Those usually work pretty well, but you can have problems with those. Like my Jeep, for example, has a hood latch here and there. It's a double hood latch. Those are kind of known to go bad sometimes, but I think a lot is because people go off-roading and mud and stuff gets in there and it messes with the hinges. I like double hood latches. I think that seems to work the best on cars, but they're a little bit more problematic. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, my Oldsmobile, that's a single hood latch, and I never had a problem with that hood. So, I don't know. That's one thing I hate about this car. I'm fortunate it opens. For whatever reason, Toyotas are notorious for having hood latch problems. But these, I don't have any hood latch problems. It's just, I don't like the way it latches. So that's one of my biggest gripe with the hood. Definitely one of the things I hate the most. The thing I hate the most is probably the A-pillar in the door. I absolutely hate it. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. This, I hate, just not as much. All right, now let's get into, I don't really hate it about this car. It's just kind of something that I wasn't expecting when I purchased these. Like, a lot of these, I knew what I was getting into when I bought this car, like about the cheapness. So I understand, I kind of dislike it, but that's okay. I knew what I was getting when I bought this car. Pretty much everything I've mentioned, I haven't known besides that. And there's another one that I didn't know about. And I don't care what anyone says. I know you're going to say, oh, you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about. But parts for these cars can be expensive. Before you comment, just hear me out, okay? Some things for these cars are expensive, and that's just the reality of it because it has specialty parts on it. For example, an alternator. When I was having my battery problem issue where it didn't want to start and everything else, where I thought it was my battery, ended up being my starter, I thought possibly my alternator was going bad. So I was looking up the Ford factory Motorcraft starter. I'm not starter, I can't even speak today. The alternator, which, by the way, I did not go to the dealership because I know I get roasted all the time for going to the dealership. So I didn't go to the dealership. I called the dealership to get a part number, and then I looked online to try to find alternators, the Motorcraft, you know, Police Interceptor 200 amp alternator. The cheapest one that I think I found was like $300 something. They range from like $300 to $400 for an alternator. Now, I don't care what you say, that's expensive, okay? And I could not find it cheaper anywhere. I went on eBay, Amazon, random car websites. I tried to find the Mitsubishi 200 amp alternator, because if you don't know, it's a Mitsubishi alternator. They are expensive. It's a high amp alternator, and you're going to pay money for them. That's just the reality of it. That's just how it is. It's just some things on this car are expensive to fix. The drive shafts, for example, in case you ever bend your drive shaft, something goes wrong with that. They are a specialty drive shaft. They're like a carbon metal matrix or something, carbon metal deposit. I don't know. There's some type of special metal that it's meant for high-speed driving, like 150 miles an hour. And those drive shafts are really expensive. I think I looked one up one time, and it was like almost $1,000. If not, it was $1,000. I looked it up when I first got this car. I was just kind of curious to see how much some things cost. So I don't remember the expense on that. If you know, comment down below. But I do remember the drive shaft for this car was really expensive. Drive shafts in general are expensive, let alone some special carbon metal matrix, whatever it is. The 04s, I forget what years, I think 03 to 05 have that special drive shaft. So I actually have the special drive shaft. The other ones, later models, they did some different type of metal. It's still an upgraded drive shaft from a standard Crown Vic, but it's not like the special metal like I have on mine. So just keep in mind that, as much as people say these cars are cheap, oh, they're cheap, you can drive them and only pay $1,000 a year for, $1,000 for 5 years in repairs and everything else. Listen, guys, yes, some things are cheap. Like, I don't know, tail lights are cheap. Things are cheap. The rims I got pretty cheap. Tires really don't cost that much for these cars. Interior pieces are pretty cheap. Parts in general are pretty cheap. But things can get really expensive on these cars. What's another example that I can use for something being expensive on this car? I don't even know, guys. Trust me, things on this car can be expensive. Okay, oh, here we go. Registration. It's just a regular car, nothing special. It's not a hot rod, nothing real fancy. Just a regular, basic, get around town cars, a little bit heavier duty, maybe a little bit faster than some other cars out there, even though these aren't that quick. Registration on these cars, because it's a Police Interceptor and it's heavier and it's beefier, registration cost me around almost $80 a year for this car. I think it cost me like $76 a year, which isn't a lot, but when you compare it to a Honda Accord, which is a little bit smaller than this, and the same amount of power, and they only pay $30-something a year, it's something to, kind of keep in mind. You're literally paying double the cost for registration for a car that's literally the same horsepower and maybe a little bit larger. All right, and the last two things I want to discuss in this video, really isn't that big a deal. I don't hate it. I guess you can kind of put these in as like I'm going to put it in as like a bonus, I guess. But I really dislike the fact that I don't have cruise control. As you guys know, if you own one of these cars do great in the city, highway, dirt roads. They really can do great in any driving condition, honestly, besides snow. Put snow tires on here, it'd probably be an okay car in the snow. I've had people say they put snow tires and they drive great. I never ran snow tires, so I don't know from experience. I just know running all-season tires, these cars are terrible in the snow. So, in the snow, whatever, I don't really have much experience with snow tires. But pretty much in any driving condition, these cars are going to be great, no matter what you're driving on. Driving through, cold, hot, whatever. But I think they shine most, at least in my opinion, on the highway. These cars love to do 80 miles an hour down the parkway or freeway, interstate, all day long. If this car did 80 miles an hour all day long down the parkway, this car would be in paradise. They're really great highway cruisers. They ride really nice, going at higher speeds. Like I said, driving in the city, they're fine. They're maybe a little bit rougher than a normal car because of heavy-duty suspension, but for the most part, they ride pretty good. Like I said, in any weather, in any condition. So not having cruise control on a car that's literally cruises best on the highway, I don't know. It's kind of annoying. Now, not every Crown Vic has this, so this is going to like pertain to my car. I mean, it is what it is. Most... Oh, here comes the door. Here you go. There you go. I love it. Oh, how much I love you, Latch. How much I love you. What was I saying? The cruise control, most squad cars, most police cars, the P71s or P7Bs, do not have the cruise control on here. It was mainly on like detective cars, maybe like a fire chief car or something. Most cars didn't have it, so if you have a police interceptor, most likely you're not going to have the cruise control. If you have a civilian Crown Vic, town cars definitely have it. You know, Grand Marquis and stuff. Most likely all those will have cruise control, so it's not really that big a deal, but I don't know, it's annoying not having it, and I wish I had it. So it is kind of like a little gripe that I have against this car. Now, the last one that I have with this car, and it doesn't pertain to just this car, I think it's really all Fords. I think it really pertains, yeah, really all Fords, really, is the gear shifter, okay? Mine isn't that bad. I'm pretty fortunate. I have a little bit of play in it. It's not that bad. But you know what I'm talking about if you have a loose gear shifter. I can't tell you how many times I've been in an F-150 or something, and this thing is like flopping all over the place. Tons of play. Sometimes you can't even get into gear right because this thing's all loose and sloppy. I think every Ford that has a column shifter has an issue with the gear selector. Like I said, mine isn't that bad, so I really can't complain about it too much. I do have a little bit of play. I've been in some that are a little bit tighter than mine. So, I don't know, mine's kind of like middle of the road. Not terrible, but it could be a little bit better as well. So, it's kind of like a little bonus, I guess. You know, these two things I'll add in there. Not the end of the world. I don't unnecessarily hate that I don't have cruise control, and I don't hate that this has a little bit of play in it. If it was real loose and flopping around, I would hate it, because I'd have to fix it. There's no way I'd be able to deal with it. But as of right now, I don't hate it, because it's not that bad. So, I don't know. I mean, those are the things that I hate. Some of the things that I hate about this car and dislike. There's not a lot. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, but I had to use a little cheat sheet over there because I can't remember the things that I dislike about this car, because it really, I don't know, there's really not that many things, so I kind of forget the things that I hate and dislike. So, you know, if it was a video of things that I do like, which I'm sure I'll make, you know, I'd be able to come up with things like, you know, snap of a finger, I can't snap, but just like that, I'd be able to tell you things that I love and really like about this car. So for me to come up with things that I hate, I gotta kind of think about it, you know what I mean? But that's pretty much it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. I think most of the things that I mentioned here, most of you guys can attest to and understand where I'm coming from. I feel like these are definitely things that most Crown Vic owners deal with for the most part. So, all right, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.